Hello, everyone. We're back with Ken Dombrowski, Executive Life Coach and Master Hypnotist. And as we wrap up the year 2025, I think there's a couple things we could probably talk about. First and foremost, why this year felt like such burnout for people and how we can kind of try and move forward with 2026.
Well, the volatility that we're experiencing in our country is political and environmental and so many different things, so many different changes. It has been more energy draining than you'd think. So I can talk to people about this and they might say, oh, no, I don't really watch the news. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I don't care if you pay attention to it. You're still exposed to it. You can see, you can be watching, I like to use an example, you can be watching the news just for the weather, for example. And they're telling you what's going to happen on the weather. But a lot of times along the bottom, there's that ticker tape going by, and it's telling you about the stuff that you don't want to hear about. Some bad thing happened in the world, car crash that killed 2 people, whatever. And so even though you're not looking at that, you're looking at the weather that's being displayed. Your subconscious and peripheral vision is picking up all of that. Mm-hmm. So you think all I did was watch the weather. No, you just got a huge healthy dose of unhappiness. There's never anything, almost never anything joyful or pleasant or positive going on down there. It's usually traumatic and catastrophic.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, the same thing goes with, like, your subconscious is picking up everything around you. You're in the coffee shop and the news is on low, or you walk past someone's phone, even though you're not paying attention to it. They're watching, a TikTok or a YouTube video or reading an article about detrimental things going on, or you're hearing side conversations about what's going on. Like, there's never a shortage of things to be upset about. That's for sure. And so it's really hard not to pick up on those emotions that maybe others are experiencing that you're not making yourself openly susceptible to.
Social media is a big one. Huge. You're on your phone and you scroll really quick. Oh, something of interest. So you stop it. You're like, oh, okay, it's a cute little puppy video or something like that. We all think that because I didn't stop and read an article or a meme about something negative that it doesn't impact me. I guarantee you it does, because your subconscious is picking it up as it goes by. Your conscious has no idea what it said. Mm-hmm. Not a clue, but your subconscious absolutely took a snapshot of it, and now it's in your head, and it's going to start wreaking havoc, even though you consciously have no idea what that was about. So we want to think about a couple of things really interesting that people aren't aware of. Our conscious mind is capable of observing and absorbing about 5 million bits of information per second. 5 million bits of information per second our conscious mind is able to absorb and see and work with per second. Your subconscious mind can absorb 4 billion bits of information per second. So 5 million conscious, 4 billion subconscious. So that tells you that your subconscious is getting way more than you know you are. So you can be, again, I like your idea, your suggestion of a coffee shop. Think about being in a coffee shop at your favorite coffee place, sipping some coffee. You hear people talking all around you. You're not paying attention to them, but your subconscious is. They're absorbing what's going on, and your subconscious absorbing what's going on. You see someone's phone, you hear someone on the phone, you see things happening. TV's on in the corner, all kinds of stuff. You're actually absorbing all of that from your environment, and we're really always looking for what's wrong. Our subconscious does not care for one moment about what's going right in your life. It's always wanting to know what's wrong so you can avoid that as a peril.
Well, and also in general, entertainment is always focused on the worst stories. Like, you don't watch reality TV because people are showing the best side of themselves. You're watching reality TV because people are screaming and punching and causing issues with one another. So that's the other thing that's part of it, is like the content that's being created for us to consume on every level is negative. Like, what are some of the most popular shows this year? The one right now is P. Diddy's whole documentary on Netflix, or Ed Gein's story just dropped earlier this year. And so it's like, it's not even necessarily like just the very top of like political affiliation and issues that are coming out, but also just the content that is being targeted towards us. And those are the ones that go viral. That's what we're talking about. And, you know, like these random killings that are happening, like they're going to take the front of the news because how did this stuff happen? So I feel like 2025 is so difficult because not only is there so much going on politically, regardless of what side you take, it's so much to absorb. And there's so much outside of the factors of just what the U.S. can be responsible for or handle. But there's scandal after scandal after scandal. Like, why do we need to know everything P. Diddy ever did? Who is that helping? You know, like, obviously there's some victims, some places that deserve, you know, their
justice.
Thank you. Sorry. But people obviously deserve justice in every case. But the fact that it's being served to our entire country on a platter is just causing so many issues because, like, we reinforce our love of serial killers. We reinforce our love of messy celebrities that have done disgusting things to other human beings. And we reinforce the hate we have for the opposing political side. Like, all of these landscapes are becoming so strongly believed in and talked about online in the year of 2025 like never before, that everyone's experiencing something. Like, I think November specifically this year, I can't name one person that was having a great time. Everyone seemed like their lives were falling apart because there's just so much to absorb and you can only take it for so long.
Well, all in alignment with what you're just describing there, what we watch, whether it be reality because it's news or even fiction. So if you are the kind of person who's watching lots and lots of horror type stuff, horror movies and shows where there's nothing but awfulness happening throughout the show, throughout the movie. A series is actually even worse than a movie because week after week, you're going to get another dose of this horrible, horrible issues, people being murdered in brutal, horrific ways, and we're celebrating it. How in the world can you possibly expect to have a joyful life when you're watching that kind of content? So watching that, it becomes the art imitating life or life imitating art, whatever you might want to look at it. You're going to become it. So you're constantly in a heightened state of awareness of what might go wrong. I remember us as a family several years ago, probably about 10 years ago, we became aware of this show called The Walking Dead. And it has been celebrated as this really great, popular show, well written, well directed, all this kind of stuff. So, okay, let's try it out. And it's a horror show. It's really, really awful. People are dying and killing and all this all the time. So, but we watched it as a family and we kind of got hooked on it because it actually is a quality show with an unbelievably negative premise. So we watched an entire season. We got hooked on it. We watched the next season. Then you know what we noticed? We all noticed that all four of us in our family were becoming irritable, tired, grumpy, negative, angry, all these negative things because that's what we're watching. And we were watching it as a family and celebrating it as a family. So after a bit, I decided I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I said, I'm not watching that anymore. And I'm going to suggest you guys don't. And then we all stopped watching. We never watched another episode. And guess what? It didn't take long, another week or two for us to kind of get that out of our system. And we all elevated back to where we normally were again. So we have to really be careful about what we watch. So I get people in the office and their life is catastrophic. They have negative thoughts, negative feelings, they have unwanted behaviors and fears and doubts, all this stuff going on, depression, anxiety. And I ask, well, what do you like to watch? What kind of TV shows and movies do you like to watch? Top of the list, horror movies and drama. Those are the two. I have to say, I'm so sorry, but please stop watching that. Watch comedy. Watch something a little bit more lighthearted, like there's an entire catalog of Hallmark movies that are just pleasant and pleasurable. Nothing actually happens in them, but it's actually the best thing you can possibly watch because you feel good after you're done watching it. They're not exciting, they're kind of boring, but it's not draining your life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'll watch like a heavy show in its entirety, but I'm also cycling through sitcoms 24/7 in between everything. Like, I love them because you can't possibly feel deep negative emotions from a sitcom. I'm not gonna detrimentally fall apart or act in a negative way because I spent too much time watching that 70s show or Schitt's Creek or Modern Family or Friends, you know, like there's not enough there besides like lightheartedness, and they're still great pieces of art, you know. That's the thing, is like, just because, you know, obviously the scary stuff, it can be beautiful art still, like he was saying, but that doesn't mean it's something that we should be absorbing at the rate that we absorb things. Like, the best things we could possibly watch would be reality shows about well-adjusted people that are making money and like the positive side of what they do and everything like that, but that wouldn't make money.
But those shows don't make it. Yeah, they don't last.
But the thing is if we were censored in what we were able to consume and watch, the demeanor of the individuals that we encounter as well as ourselves would greatly increase, because it's just not there to pull from, and it's not like what you're teaching yourself from. And like, you know, you're constantly seeing these things about what is going on and being enacted in schools and different things like that, and what these kids are learning or how they act nowadays. And it all stems from what they're absorbing from social media way too young. I think homeschooling has to be at an all-time high rate right now, because people just don't agree with what their kid is learning at school, not even necessarily based on curriculum, but what other kids are teaching their children. And the ability to control what your child consumes is at an all-time low as well. So it's like all of these factors together are culminating for like the craziest American year in, you know, current times. Like, I obviously can't speak for what it felt like to live in the early 1900s, but 2025 is rough. And I don't care who you are, what side you're on, what you think's going on. This is a lot to absorb for anybody and everybody. And all we can really do is choose to participate in what can better us as a person versus what's the quote unquote norm.
Stop watching things of conflict and negativity, and your life will immediately start to improve.
Also, maybe don't engage. Like, don't comment. If you have something negative to say online, think it in your head and then just keep scrolling. Don't comment. Don't start Twitter wars in someone's comments, Instagram wars in someone's comments. Sometimes I'll think about commenting something and I'm like, the last thing I want is a notification on my phone knowing that it's going to be someone that I don't know on this planet vehemently disagreeing with something I said. Because the second you post something, you're opening up yourself to the entire world to have an opinion. And just try not to do it in a negative light. I think that's so important as well. Like, contribute to the positivity of society versus the negativity is the thing you can do.
Well, you can put the most positive post on, like, say, for example, Facebook, and someone's going to find a way to shit all over it.
That's true.
They're just going to be negative and crappy about it. It's like, how did this positive, uplifting note get this person to say something negative? So you have to think about that person. Everything in their life is negative and angry and mean, and they're just having to lash out.
Yeah, so I wish there was also like some easy way that we can say that you can heal from like the burnout and the negativity that has surrounded the year 2025 for a lot of people, whether they know it or not. But honestly, it's going to be something that it takes time, and it's going to take lifestyle changes. So there's only so much that we can even control. Like we were saying, you can't control everything that's going on around you, but you can try and have conscious as well as leading to subconscious decisions to make things better for yourself.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Well, I think that covered it. I'm ready for 2026. How about you?
2026. Woo! Come on.
Yeah.
Bring it.
I think we're going to be helping a lot of people get through their burnout and bad decisions that may have been made in 2025. So if you're looking to 2026 and some resolutions that may be able to be helped from alternative therapy and hypnosis, go check out our website, linked in the bio, and we would love to talk to you. Have a great day. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye.